Hey everybody, Ray Hayden here, and this video is going to be about that branch right there. This branch right here, that's what I call a widowmaker. Now, I was pulling on that branch the other day, and it's not actually that heavy. It's broken here at the base, so I could just take my tractor and push it off of that, but the problem with that is this side of the branch over here comes up and it's kind of leaning the other way. So it's kind of a twisted thing. If I push it that way, it's going to kind of fall this way towards the tractor. So I'm going to try something else first with a tow rope. I'm going to try a tow rope and me just manually pulling on this thing, see if I can break it loose from the tree up here. If I can do that, that'd be great. And then I'll just take my chainsaw, cut it up, put it on the burn pit, and we're done with that. And then I'll take you and I want to show you, maybe I'm making another video. We'll see about that, how long this one goes. But let's get that tow rope and see if I can get this thing pulled down. Well, I hope that looked good on the screen, and that felt great. All right, so here's the deal. That limb was apparently damaged in a windstorm or whatever. Twisted around too much, and it cracked at its base, which is right there. It twisted. And so it would be a really heavy branch, but that wasn't the problem here. The weight of the actual branch, the water content of the branch has been drying out for a little bit. So I'm not sure when this thing broke, because when I drive under these trees with the tractor and the lawnmower back here, you know, the lawnmower back there, I go under that stuff. And I'm pretty cognizant of the trees trying to kill me and stuff. So I try to be real careful about that. All right, so the next thing is, and maybe I will, maybe I'll go ahead and leave the camera set up here and I'll go back, well, I'll stop it. And then I'll go back and get my chainsaw, just chop this up and throw it in the bin here and show you how fast I can pretty much get rid of this stuff. There's 20 acres of land out here, but I can pretty much take care of it pretty much when everything's in, get some eye vision here. So when I get this place in really good shape, you know, it's like before I went into the wooded area here, we'll go back out, I'll make that a separate video. But that's the wooded area back there. It's like 1.3 acres of wooded area. Now, the vast majority, meaning almost every one of the trees stays. But a lot of that stuff you can't see through is really just low palm fronds. They're little palm fronds. They're like these things here, right in the background. They're like that. You gotta clear out all these palm fronds around the oak trees. And there is actually one palm tree growing up through there. I'll have to evaluate that tree to make sure it's not hurting the oak trees. And if they can coexist together, that's fine. That's great. If not, then I have to make a choice of which tree is more viable. You know, whichever tree is more viable for success and not crashing and being a danger to anybody else, any animals here, then I kind of have to flip a coin and make a choice for the tree. But anyway, so let me go get my chainsaw and we'll have a little fun. We'll cut this up. I got to change the chain, put a new chain on there. Make a joke about that real quick. I wish I would ever be able to sharpen my blades, my chains. I simply don't have, it doesn't cost that much. It's not cost preventative to just buy a new chain. I mean, I can have them sharpened professionally, or I can sit there and take my time and sharpen them myself. I can sharpen them, I've done it before. But the sharpening of the chain takes so much time, I can actually be out there cutting something down. And the cost of a new chain is not much more than having it sharpened. And I really put these chains through a little personal nightmare for a chain, right? So, but I'll stop the camera here, and I'm going to go get the chainsaw, and we'll chop this up and throw it in the, you know, I'll show you the Toro mower with the cart that I have there, I think it's a polar cart, and we'll show you that again, and we'll put away my tow rope. All right, so I'll be right back. Catch you in the next clip. All right, we're back. Took a little break to go clean up my chainsaw a little bit, change out the chain. Is that Ryobi? I guess it's the 40 volt system, brushless. So anyways, I got the 4 amp battery on there, 4 amp hour battery on there. Got the oil all filled up. This thing goes through oil pretty quick. So anyway, so let me go ahead and there's a huge bird flying around in the wooded area. Very good. Be great if that was an owl. I see it fly, see the shadow of the bird flying all over the treetops over there. Anyways, if I can get a shot of the bird, I will. Anyways, let's chop up this here branch. Let's get that thing in the picture here. I mean, see it. Big a branch there. All right, so let's chop this branch up, throw it in the polar cart there, and take it back over that Toro mower over to the burn pit. So let's go ahead and get to work. All right, so everything packed up in the polar cart. The polar cart holds more stuff than the, pardon me, the polar cart holds more material than the front end loader on the tractor. So I like very much using the polar cart to tote the stuff over to the fire pit. Now, if I have something that's really heavy or a huge log or something like that, then the front loader is a better way to do it, because I can actually lift it up, put the front loader out over where the fire pit is, and place it right where I want it to be without having to move it around later on. So something that's really heavy or kind of unwieldy to move around, I can go ahead and use the front end loader. Now, the other thing I'm going to be working on today, right now I'm just going to pick up a few more things and throw them in the cart, take them over to the fire pit. But I have a few things over here that I'm working on. There's a little thing right here. There's some tree stumps or tree stuff, I guess. Let me see how I get this thing straighter, more level. Maybe too far. All right, so anyways, there's a little thing right here on the ground, right out here. But I think you can see it. Trying to level this up a little bit. All right, so right out here in the distance, you can see the light on the other side, right? So let's go inbound to that tree a little bit. All right. Now these trees over here, you see that, like these palm, there's palm frond stuff over here. That's actually a palm tree that's out in this little clearing right here that I'm in, where the shade is and everything, and that sun is over there. This is actually a kind of like, you could build a house right here. There's enough room to build a house, a nice little house out here, and not be in danger of being whacked by one of these big trees. Anyway, so, but anyways, there's a bunch of material right in there. Trying to line it up with the camera, but there's a bunch of stuff. I kind of pulled it out from further back in there, right? And you can see a little bit further back into this area here. Now, some of this stuff right here, that's right at the front of that area. There's a fence that goes, there's actually a fence going through there, okay? Barbed wire fence kind of thing. But I'm pulling that out. I'm actually removing that, which is why you can see through over here, because I removed that fence that was over here, right? So I'll be removing more this entire fence, right? And then I'm clearing back in there. Now, let's see if I can get that. Back further over in this area here, back in there. That's pretty far back in there. I mean, that's not like close. This stuff right here is actually pretty close, right? But over there to the side, over there, that stuff's in there. That's back in there away. Actually, just to this side of this thing here, there's light that's hitting a bush that's over there. That bush is coming out. Actually, that's a whole bunch of vines. That's a nasty vines to get up in there. So I'll actually be removing that tree and all the vines that are on it. I've gotten rid of some really tall vines. I mean, the vines that are shooting up 60 feet up in the air. They've climbed up into the tree. The vine grows straight, and it has enough strength for it to grow straight for a while. But then it gets onto a tree, like these little guys here, right? And then they can get as fat as a tree trunk. There's some over here. That tree that's leaning there, that if you look real close, maybe you can see some of those things in there. But there's some vines growing up around that tree, and that thing there's leaning off in such a direction, you know, it's not going to be able to straighten itself up, you know. So I may actually have to get rid of that part of that tree, you know. And that's a palm tree, you know. It's kind of a funny thing. It's palm tree here probably did this other oak tree in, so I'm probably going to have to get rid of that because it's really going to be a danger. It's going to grow to such an extent, and everything else is going to fall. But I got to be careful because it's also growing up into that other tree over there. See? So these things are like kind of a danger. I may have to hire the guy, you know, call the guy out and have him do it for me kind of thing, you know. Misdemeanor is like real hot on not getting me killed off out here. Anyway, so, but these are palm frond stuff. It's just kind of palm fronds, short little, you know, sapling kind of stuff. It's just little garbage stuff in here. I clean that out. And then the big, beautiful trees that are in there will have more room to grow. They'll have more space, you know, and it'll be more conducive to a happy growing environment for the bigger trees that are actually there. And then the little stuff, mostly like this stuff over here, you know, it's kind of a close step right here. All this is palm frond stuff. This stuff here will get cleared out, and you'll just see around the trunks of the trees. There's a palm tree in there too, but you know, the other palm frond stuff, they're just really, you know, encroaching on the other trees. You know, I don't know about these four over here. I mean, they keep coming back. But if they start getting tall, man, it's going to be a real, you know, it'd be nice, you know, it'd be nice to have a little row of palm trees over there. But, you know, just as long as they don't get in, you know, once they start getting involved with the other trees and they start doing damage to the other trees, and that's a problem. All right, anyway, again, I also don't have my microphone on today because we're dealing with a chainsaw. I'm dealing with branches and stuff like that. And for safety, I don't want to wear the microphone. So sorry about that. I'll fix the audio in post-production. Anyway, so, but straight back through here, that is pretty far back in there. And that's the area I'm working on. Let's go ahead and take a little break here, and I'll take you back over there and show you what I'm working on over there. Okay, so let me get this glove off. Stop the video, and we're going to go over into that area. All right, so let me take the glasses off here. What you can see, you should be able to see back in the distance right there is the Toro mower. You should be able to see the barn back in there too. And let's see here. There's a fence. So you see the Toro mower back there, the barn's back there. I just walked straight over here to kind of get in the middle of this. Now this is that tree that was kind of highlighted over there with the sun and stuff. It's got a bunch of vines growing up. It's small. It's a scraggly tree. It's actually growing up and then growing straight down over there, growing straight down. So this tree's coming out. If we turn around over here, you can see really good. This is that one area I said that the bushes were close, and this is where they're close right here, over there. There's a fence over in here too, but all this stuff, the scraggly stuff in here, for the most part is it's vines. Broken vines, downed branches, okay? And then a lot of palm frond stuff. There's a whole lot of palm frond stuff in there, which I've been cleaning out. And this is that stuff that gets real brown, and if you put it in a fire pit, it just goes up, kind of explodes, right? And then there's a couple of stumps here and there. These are trees that I've actually had to make the determination which tree is viable, which tree is going to make it, which tree is going to survive and do well. I inspect the tree to make sure there's no wildlife living in the tree, no birds' nests or anything up in there, because that's going to kind of trump whether or not that thing goes or stays, kind of thing. If there's wildlife currently in it, when I'm getting ready to decide which tree to take down, then I really got to be careful about that. Here's two trees. I'm going to point out these two trees right here. These trees are very, very tall. All right. So these they're probably like 70 feet tall, 60, 70 feet tall, kind of thing, and real skinny. That skinny one on the side is a tree. That's a tree. All right. Come down here to the bottom. Now, these two trees. Let me make sure I got the right two trees. There we go. Okay. So these two trees that are right here. Okay, they're skinny little trees. All right. But they're far away from these other stumps. So these other stumps were like, it's an individual tree. It wasn't growing well. It was not really in great shape. So I made the decision that one there's got to come down for the survival of the other trees around it. These two here are growing very, very close together. They're already very tall, and they're actually also straight. They're not like going off in some crazy direction where they're going to fall over because they weigh too much, and they're going like crazy gangbusters in the wrong direction, right? So they're doing good, all right? So these two trees are doing good. Now here's another one over here in the distance. Let's see if I can see it. Now it's kind of on an angle because the camera's there. This tree right here is growing off on an angle. It's got nothing else growing off it. It's not trying to balance itself out. And yet there's another tree right behind it. This one right there is going up, and it's growing nice and straight. So this one here is going to end up growing and to become a dangerous tree. So I'm going to have to make a decision on this one here, and I'm probably going to pull that one, right? But right next to it on either side, there's a couple of trees that are growing well. So, you got to kind of take care of the property, or you're going to be in trouble down the road if you don't prune and carefully make sure that the ones that are viable are going to do well, because then you end up with a bunch of problems. And one of the big problems I'm going to have right here, and this is the reason why. Now in Florida, I was able to buy my tractor and not pay sales tax on the tractor. It was like $23,000, $25,000 worth of a purchase that I didn't have to pay sales tax on. And that's a really good thing, but the reason for that is the primary purpose for the tractor was for this area here and this area that's now a field over here. I think I pretty much completed the fire protection control thing over here that was the main purpose of the tractor, which was 12 to 14 foot high thicket bushes. And I got rid of those. This is the other part of it. I need the tractor to get back in there and clean out a whole lot of this material once I get it down. I can chop down the palm fronds. I can cut them off with a handsaw. That's no problem. That's actually very easy to do. But I got to clean up the palm frond stuff down there. It's really a fire hazard because these palm fronds do fall over. What they do is palm fronds grow up, they fall over, and they become this basically explosive fire problem. And this stuff here goes up fast. It goes up in fire fast, and it goes very, very intently. Now, I'll go back in here, see if I can get this tree, this log. Maybe you can see it. It's right about there somewhere, back there in the distance. There's a huge tree back in there that just fell over, so that's going to be a problem too. That dries out, becomes kindling for a fire. So because in the state of Florida, because we're using the tractor for fire prevention, this is a savings to the state government with not having to fund fire people, fire professionals and fire prevention and stuff to go out there and manage the property, because we're actually managing the land on behalf of the state, and we're actually properly managing the thing so it doesn't become a fire problem. It saves a whole bunch of money for the state, so giving us a sales tax break is a thing that the state will do. All states will do some kind of thing. If you help the state out and you're helping them save money, they'll probably help you save some money in helping them save money, right? Help me to help you kind of thing. Anyway, so that's it. There's only 1.3 acres back here, and I'm trying to clean all this out. You couldn't get through here. As a matter of fact, where I'm standing right now, you could not be here because it was fenced off with a barbed wire fence. But back in here, I'll be cleaning out all this stuff here, the palm frond stuff, and you'll be able to see back into the property very much like you couldn't see back here before. But now you see my neighbor's property over here. You see his barn back over there behind the trees, right? I'll be cleaning this out. You'll be able to see that better too. And we'll be able to see, what's going on and everything else in this area to make sure there's no problems that we need to take care of, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's all about being a good steward for the property that you own, taking care of it, doing the work, getting the job done, all right? Again, the property doesn't go that much further back into here. It goes pretty far the other direction. In fact, the vast majority of the property is actually this direction here. But we got, you know, it's again 1.3 acres back. There's a thing right back there. If I can get that in the picture. Oh, it's right there through the tree. All right, so right there in the background there is a. It's my neighbor's property over there. So our property doesn't go back much further, you know, to the left of that. Right, as you're looking at it over these trees, our property doesn't go much deeper than that. So what I'm really trying to do back here this whole time and everything, I'm really trying to get this all cleaned up so I can manage the property line on the back. He owns a couple of acres. Our neighbors own like 2 acres behind us. They got a little flag kind of property thing behind there. And we got a fence. There's a property line fence back there. And I've seen it, and a lot of it is crushed because trees have fallen down on it from hurricanes and stuff like that. But we need to be able to maintain the property line fence. And also, if we can maintain that, then these wild hogs can't get onto the property so easy and do it. But that's another thing, and another story for another day. But the main project right here all this summer and everything, I've been looking forward to doing it, is cleaning this out so it's visible. So it's more of a shady area than an impenetrable area. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, and the other thing I can show you over here is this is the horse field. You've heard me maybe talk about that a couple of times in other videos and everything else. We got different kind of fields. We gave them different names. And this field that's over there where the sunlight's hitting the ground out in the distance there, that's the horse field. And if you look back in the distance there, you can actually see a bright line right at the grass level. That's actually our driveway. Our house is almost visible over here. But you see a bright line right at the ground level. That's actually the driveway. It's a concrete driveway slab over there by the house. So we'll be able to see the house from here. We'll be able to see out into this area and everything else. But like you see, I got a whole lot of palm fronds to cut down. Now the good thing is this comes down pretty quick. This kind of work right here, all this is going to clean up pretty quick. Some of these palm frond things are like right at ground level, so that's great. So it's not a whole lot of stumping kind of stuff going on or digging things out with the tractor kind of stuff. But when I get all this cleaned out, this area is going to look a whole lot nicer when I get back in here and get this done. All right, so I'm going to wrap that up for this video. It's kind of a long one, but thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for for watching and hanging out and all that. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see if we can pick this thing up and kind of make it like a Steadicam kind of deal and go for a little stroll. I'm going to lift up over. This is some of the material I was talking about. I'll be cutting this up here in a few minutes and taking it over to the burn pit. Kind of get a little bit more of a visual of what I'm talking about here. This area right here, you could not see through here. This is all completely covered. You couldn't see it through it at all. I had to pull out a tree over here. I had to pull a couple trees out over there. So that palm tree, the palm tree was the sole survivor. The palm tree was in the middle of 3 or 4 oak trees, so they had to come down. This tree here was growing up into that tree, so that had to come down. Things like that. Now these trees here are the opposite. There's a palm tree over here. Okay, that palm tree is going to come out because it's kind of that palm deal. And these little palm things will come out. I'll remove those before they become a problem. But this thing right here, this is an oak tree growing right next to it. And I might have to remove the skinny one here. But the rest of them are really close together. So all I got to do is make sure this stays clean out in the center of it. These trees will grow together, and this will end up being a great big tree one day. It'll be a beautiful tree. It'll be 100 years from now. I'll be long dead and gone. But if I can keep that clean while I'm here, and whoever gets the property after I'm gone, then this tree might end up looking like that one real big, beautiful tree way back in the distance over there. All right? It's a couple 100 years old. That thing's way older than me, right? So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, coming on this little tour. Still staying safe, still being safe with the property and not getting crushed by any branches and all that. Anyways, until I catch you in the next video, I'd like to thank you for hanging out, stopping out. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like the video, make a comment below, let me know you came by to say hi. And until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.